Okay, welcome to the show. We got Ashley Fletcher. Welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
Delightful and JeRm Haine.
Hey.
We got the electro rock and hip hop act that is Those Monsters. Their albums include Conqueror, Euphoria, Hotel, and the homage title The Boys of Summer. And they are based in New Orleans. And welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So this was a cool just kind of mesh. You guys have been doing very active on social media, appearing on other shows and promoting your material. And so I guess let's do a time capsule. When did it all begin? What was the year exactly?
What was it? 2 years ago?
Yeah, it's about 2 years ago.
Sweet.
We started in California, where I'm from. After a previous act I was in, just kind of wasn't working for me. So Ashley and I had been together in a relationship for
Congrats.
quite a while.
No, seriously.
And,
glad anyone can make that work in this crazy day.
Yeah. I just asked her to try laying down vocals on one of the songs, and it worked out really well, so we just continued.
I did his management and promotion for about 10 years and some backup singing, and he was having the worst luck ever with singers. And I was just like, okay, so let me try and sing some lead and write some stuff, and it just came out pretty. So here we are.
Well, and so was really digging a lot of your material on BandCamp, and it's interesting how if you don't have anything on there, then people are using Spotify and then getting fed up that they're not making their money back. Then there's all these other factors as well. What do you guys make of the post independent scene where you don't have to rely on just clicks on Apple to sample music and show off your skills? What do you make of it all currently?
We're actually making more profits from streaming than we are from BandCamp. Actually, we get royalty checks every month from our streaming services. BandCamp is kind of a little hit or miss.
Yeah, we both use CD Baby and DistroKid, and I find it to be an exceptional promotional tool. However, you just can't you put your music on DistroKid and expect it to get plays. You have to actively be out there putting the links out, getting people to listen to it, sharing it, and having other people share it. And that's the way to really get, the royalties. I mean, we get royalties every week. It's nothing, substantial yet, but we do. I mean, it's possible. I love it.
Ashley's a fantastic promoter, so that helps. She just kind of knows where to promote everything. So
I've done it for quite some time in the alternative arts. I've worked with different kinds of artists, sculptors, mask makers, musicians. And now for me.
So this music is really just calming and visceral at times. But it's also just very cyberpunkish kind of, just that whole kind of William Gibson-ish, Matrix kind of feel.
Yeah, I've been into industrial music since like the mid 90s when I first started.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gary Newman, 9 Inch Nails-ish.
Yeah.
Oh yes, love him.
Yeah,
love him.
Everything I do kind of has an industrial touch to it. Me being from
we hear everything from a computer literally crying to someone kind of having an online day. You paint all these images in your material, which I must applaud anyone who can do any kind of visual portrait just from various interconnected noises and that all paint a bigger picture.
Yeah, our sound is kind of eclectic because I'm from the Los Angeles area and Ashley's from the New Orleans area, so there's both of those sort of sounds mixed together in our music makes it unique.
My roots started in my promotion. I used to promote rappers. That was
sweet.
it. I wrote rap music and promoted rappers when I was in my early 20s.
East Coast, West Coast, baby.
Yes, indeed. And then, but my heart has always been of the gothic nature. though. I always like the darker music. Gary Newman, Shirley Manson.
Oh, Garbage fan, nice.
Yes, we have a cover of Number One Crush that it did really well when it came out. It still is my number one song. Make the most money. I've made the most money off of that one.
It's got a big like cinematic vibe to it.
Definitely, because at one point we were kind of catering our music to sound like it would be on a soundtrack, and we still have that goal in mind. But we would love that, like to get our music in movies or TV shows. So that's like one of our major goals,
It's very possible, because there's a lot of those record producers who are looking for that kind of artists, and it's not just someone who they can pay less. It's also just people who they can find who just fit their mood, fit their tone. I mean, if Altered Carbon came back, it'd be great to hear some of this material in there.
Yes.
So what were some of your inspirations growing up that you feel kind of fit into your lyrics and visual voiceovers?
For me, I grew up in a very musically oriented family. Everybody in my family either sings, plays instruments, or both. I grew up around Irma Thomas, is a soul singer here from New Orleans. That is a goddess. I love Peggy Lee. She's old school. Definitely Gary Newman is everything. But what really changed it for me to want to work with electronic music was back when I was 14 years old. I went to Lollapalooza and saw The Prodigy live.
Oh, man.
It warped my little 14-year-old brain. I was like, this is what I'm going to do forever.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, I want to do this music forever. Like after I heard that.
I don't want to leave this concert hall.
Absolutely not. And for you, JeRm?
I just loved in the 80s and stuff. I loved the whole like new wave and synth wave stuff. Devo's like has always been a big one for me. But I think my biggest musical influences would be David Bowie, Nine Inch Nails, and Depeche Mode.
There you go. Any Oingo Boingo?
I love Oingo Boingo. Yeah.
Yes. Danny Elfman. Yes.
That's what like kind of initially got me interested in that. Doing like scores and stuff like that is Danny Elfman's music since like Pee Wee, came out. I just thought it was so like weird and otherworldly and like a whole other character within like the movie and stuff. I think that's
rest in peace.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Also, that's very neat. And when did you feel like you were just ready to pull the trigger and actually make music your day job?
I started really young. I was in junior high when a band I was in started like getting paid to do gigs and stuff, and I realized like, well, you can make money doing this. I think I'm going to put a lot of energy to it. So I've been a gigging musician since I was a young teenager.
I started singing second grade. My mother put me in music lessons. I was in the school choir, and I excelled pretty quick. I didn't stay in it very long. I don't have a whole lot of formal training, but that was about it. It was always kind of, like he calls, I'm kind of punk rock. I just kind of do my own thing when it comes to arranging my vocals and writing my part of the music. But I was a backup singer for years, and I just wrote lyrics for people. And like I said, this is my first time actually being a lead singer at all. But since pretty much high school, I've traveled all over the United States working with various different types of artists, doing promotion and writing and backup singing. So,
sweet.
Yeah.
And were you pretty well accepted back then? You just had an instant just connection with everybody. You all felt like you were part of a bigger collective.
For me, when I was in the hip hop industry, I did not feel respected as a female. I wasn't taken very seriously.
There was some misogyny a lot back then, unfortunately.
Oh, there was a lot, and there was a lot of sexism. Hey, we're gonna get you to sing this, but we're gonna pay you, but we want to make sure you don't tell anybody you're doing these demos for us. We're gonna pay you though, so hush hush. A lot of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. So that was the main reason I decided not to work in that genre anymore. because of that situation. But and you know, in the I guess the alternative world, girls are more respected as vocalists. You know,
I would hope so at this point, man.
Yeah. I mean, look how many great ones they have out
there. Yeah, definitely. I was respected within my musical community whenever I started in like the 90s, up until the early 2000s. I was in Bakersfield, California, and associated with all the bands from there, like Korn, Edema, Videodrone, and Orgy, and
yeah, I know. You gotta say it in a metal voice.
And I was generally respected by the people there, but at the same time, not really, because like they all got signed and were on major labels and stuff. And whenever it came time for me to be like courted by major labels, I wasn't interested in it. And since I turned down a major label deal, I was kind of shunned by the whole community there.
I'm sorry, dude. That sucks. It's like
I didn't feel right, like signing my name and likeness over to a record label and being basically those record contracts. You end up in a massive amount of financial debt with them. So if you don't sell a ton of records, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah,
and I didn't like the whole idea. I'd rather just do it on my own. Yeah, a lot of people didn't.
Whatever you got to do, man. If it becomes work, I mean, there's a wonderful documentary if you have the time called "I'll Be in the Bathroom." It's on Showtime right now, streaming, and it's about, you know, it focuses on a lot of New York-based music artists, including the Strokes and the Yeah-Yeahs, who are in the same music circle in collaboration, and it just talks about just how, you know, post 9/11, everybody in that New York area, you know, state was just miserable, to where even just when they were with their fans and everything and performing, it was just work. It wasn't fun. And how do you make all that stress and angst and paranoia and insecurity become fun, you know, to sing about? You know, you're living it, and you're just worried again about the bills piling up and how to stand out. And I can't imagine. I would have probably had to file for bankruptcy had I been in their shoes. You know?
Yeah.
That's all I could see. My future is like, oh my god, these records are going to sell this record like $1 million.
Not like that, you know. Doing it independently, we own our name, we own our face, we own our lyrics, and we get all the royalties. And that was something we both had to learn, I think, through the years, how to do properly.
I'm linking it to you guys now. Meet me in the bathroom. It's
all right. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I made a note of it. He just put it in his phone. But thank you for that. I definitely.
But yeah, phone. It's funny how phones are secondary now. Is like, you're doing it with everything. Whether I just heard a song on the radio versus someone gave me a tips and tricks, you have no excuse to not look something up now. No more pieces of paper and pen and pencil stuff.
Yeah.
But what future aspirations do you guys have upcoming?
For the first couple of years we were together, we've just been releasing a bunch of singles just to kind of like see what we really enjoyed and what other people liked from us.
Have you thought of touring with some other synthwave bands?
Perhaps. Right now we're working on our first like full-length LP. Now that we've kind of like tested the waters, we've kind of honed in on a sound, and we're working on our first full-length LP. Once that comes out, we're going to start doing a few gigs out here in the southern Louisiana area, and from there hopefully branch out and start doing touring with whomever we fit in with, whether it's synthwave or alternative rock or whatever.
Yeah, the last few tracks that came out were basically the demos for the LP.
Conqueror and Binary Whisper.
Yeah,
I wish I was a conqueror. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
And it is a concept album that's coming out. It's a story behind it. Every song will be put in an order to where if you listen to an order, you're going to hear this one big saga of a girl. Her name is Sally. And we also have been working on a graphic novel to go with
her name was Sally. Sorry. I don't know why I just went into new metal voice.
Because he mentioned Korn earlier. No, you can't get it out of
me. That was either Pearl Jam or it was Creed. I'm not sure what, but I went there.
That was definitely early grunge sound there.
Yeah, that was more Seattle.
Yeah, that was Seattle for sure.
Sorry, not sorry. I love that shit.
It is awesome.
Yeah, the album has like a mix of sounds on it, though. There's some synthwave sounding songs, some that are more industrial, and then some that are kind of like a shoegazy, traditional goth kind of sound.
Where did the name come from? Dare I ask? Did someone call you a monster in person? You're like, thank you. Why, yes, I am.
Yeah, basically.
Sort of, yeah.
It's kind of being a smartass, because like,
you bastards.
Yeah, we've it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing of people always being judgy and misconceptions of who we are and what we do.
The 420 single you guys did was really fun because I do love kind of how it starts up and then you kind of recharge, then you pass out. It kind of signifies all the various stages and the restlessness and angst.
Absolutely.
And having dealt with insomnia recently, I was even more inspired by it because I used to take Delta 8 for sleep, and that just gets you all anxious after a while if you have too much of that shit.
Right.
It's good. I miss the feeling, but I don't miss all the after the fact and waking up being pissed off as hell for no reason. Why are you angry? I don't know.
The emotional roller coaster.
I don't recommend it anyway, but I secretly recommend it to everybody.
That video was entirely animated on an iPad. We actually used an iPad exclusively for the production of this whole record, mostly out of necessity because the power supply on my Mac crap on us traveled across country. We came from California to Louisiana.
You gotta say it like Schwarzenegger. California. Hey, you're playing this music. We need this in the next Terminator TV show. Oh, these monsters, they're a wonderful band. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you guys played around with horror on the Hotel single. What was the inspiration behind that? Just the whole atmosphere behind it.
Well,
and the piano.
Hotel was the first song that I wrote that song. Because it was we were having a really bad night, and it was the last singer that he tried to work with before me just screwed him over, was awful, and he was having a bad night, and I was like, you know what, I'm tired of seeing you.
I'll do it.
I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get the old paper out and I'm gonna write this. So I wrote that song in a night. And then he had, I think he already had a beat.
By right, you mean the lyrics or the music notes?
Yeah, I wrote the lyrics. He did the music. I wrote the lyrics and arranged the vocals.
Like I had a concept or a part of a beat going, and you started writing.
And I started writing, and then he was like, okay, we'll get on that. I mean, that all happened in the night. That was the first song that inspired those monsters, actually.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, man. Everything happens for a reason, baby.
Yeah, and we're a giant horror fans. I love horror, love it. And at the time,
I was digging serial killer stalker shit because it reminded me kind of just of all the recent throwbacks we've had, like Ready or Not or Your Next, where it's both tongue in cheek and just an awesome hunt or be hunted, deadliest game ever played kind of.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I wrote that one as well. It was a lot of fun.
My favorite part of that was getting the excuse to scratch on vinyl and do the
Mommy Dearest sample is everything in that song.
I was wondering what that was from. All right.
Mommy Dearest. It's the Don't Fuck With Me Fellas. That is a line from the movie Mommy Dearest, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I think it sampled like a dozen horror movies in that too. There's like Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's allowed. I wish people would talk about it more because I see other people saying, "Oh, you'll get sued." I'm like, only if you use like a minute or less.
Yeah, we understand how to do all that. We've been through that, so we know how to get.
We know what you're talking about.
There's a misconception about the whole. Like there's a certain amount of time you can sample. There isn't. Like if you sample anything, you could potentially get sued. But we figured out how to go about clearing like samples and covers and everything else that we do. So we don't get in trouble.
have our butt covered in every way. Everything's legal with us. We know how so we won't get in trouble. We buy our we have to pay.
One of us is in deep trouble. I'm just kidding. Going back to Arnold again. My bad. It happens on this show.
See what you did.
Is it?
See what your Californian self did to him.
I'm a Texan, but I got family in San Francisco, and yes, I'm waiting for the apocalypse to happen. It's gonna happen. No, I kid.
California to go underwater.
Yeah, I'm from under the sea, you know.
Under the sea.
Yeah, New Orleans is below sea level. I was born under the sea. I love telling people that.
That's why you're a swamp witch.
I'm a swamp witch. That's right. Don't forget it.
Totally. So, what other events do you guys have coming up? If I haven't already worded it that way, I kind of have, but I don't care. It's my show.
I mean, at this point, we're just trying to finish up the album.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's done, which it's very close.
Yeah, the album's in like the post-production stages right now.
Yeah, I mean, you would mention Hussein. Hussein is like very recently added. Like the last few weeks, he's been added to the band. He found us online, just kind of like you did, and he heard the song "Building Lovers," and he was like, "I would really love to do a remix or do some guitar on that song." And we were like, "All right, what you got?" And we loved him immediately.
Yeah.
He fits in.
His style fits well.
His style fits in so well. And, you know, he's from New York. I'm from New Orleans. He's from LA. So it's like, I'm interested to see what this is going to turn into. Like I said, it's fairly new, but so far so good.
Yeah, really, our only plans that we have currently is after this record is finished, we're already working on the concept for the next record. But in the meantime, also, we'll be trying to do some shows. As soon as
this is done, we'll definitely be starting to do some more shows and things like that to promote the album, of course.
That's sort of why we added Hussein. We played one show at a festival with just Ashley and I.
It was in Tennessee.
And I was sort of overwhelmed with the amount of like things that I had to perform. So I wanted to find another musician to help me back Ashley up. So whenever Hussein
back it up.
Yeah. Whenever Hussein hit us up, I tested him out just to let him come up with a few guitar tracks, and they sounded great. And his personality fits the band and stuff, so he's the guy.
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
He'll be on a guitar and bass or whatever other stringed instruments like while I do drums. I'll be playing like electronic drums with samples and stuff in them, so I'll be able to play synth and drums at the same time, basically.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And any venues you guys would like to play in the future? Like I don't know how much it would be to reserve a House of Blues kind of thing, but
I don't have like a dream venue. I just basically would love to get some shows in my hometown in New Orleans and make my people proud. That's generally what I want to do. Make them laugh, make them smile, make them dance. You know?
All right.
Playing live as much as possible. And creating as much music as we can is like my only real goal, I guess.
No. Sorry. Couldn't resist. Other than that, any other indie pals you'd like to give a shout out to? How about the little guy?
I don't know. We've been so in our own little bubble, whatever. Been messing with the other.
I'm in my little bubble.
Yeah, we've just been.
I don't know why I keep
spending all of our time working on the record, basically.
Yeah, I pretty much just go to work and come home and work on albums, and I don't have that's pretty much it. I mean, we haven't really worked with any other artist yet. I mean, Hussein's really the only other artist we worked with, but he's really not involved with any other bands or anything.
He's got some like solo stuff going on, if I'm not mistaken. He's also been concentrating on this album, so
you kind of met us at at this point, like I said, we're on the very verge of finishing the album.
Yeah, we're still in like the hermit phase, just staying and working on the album.
Yeah.
What do you guys recommend for sound mixing and everything? You know, everything from Pro Tools to Audacity is here. But what do you?
I've been using Logic like exclusively for the longest time.
That is the logical answer, but
for years.
No, awesome.
I use Ableton for live stuff, because it makes you do so much, like live. So use Ableton for live performances, and then use Logic for producing music.
Sweet. Well, what are tips and tricks would you recommend for anyone other than make sure you have a voice first, what have you?
Tips and tricks. I don't know. Field recordings. Record all kinds of weird sounds that are not made by instruments, and then see what kind of music you can make from that.
It's absolutely wonderful to take trips. We do that a lot. We'll take trips out to places. Just recently we went to a cemetery and just sat there for a while and took recordings of the wind and the birds, and it's absolutely glorious when when you play with that.
The birds and the trees.
The birds and the trees.
I love the sound
rain.
design a lot. Just like
I don't know why we. Damn it! Sounds. Get out of here, Nicki Minaj. Have you thought? You mentioned rappers earlier. Are there any who you're still close with who you'd like to probably get?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't associate
gangsta shit.
No. That's quite some time ago.
You don't want to have a cyborg taking out a bunch of rappers in a gang war or some shit.
No, absolutely not. I have nothing but love for for all the hip hop and rap. I still listen to it regularly. There's a lot
you
of
guys
really
even
good
do some rap. So
I rap a little bit. It's still in there, and New Orleans has a lot of really good underground rap that I grew up with out here. So it's definitely in my soul, but so is, the Gothic music and all that. And he's trying to push me to be more aggressive when I sing. He wants to hear me scream a little more and take me out of my comfort zone. So that may be in our future.
Let Ashley hit the floor.
Let me hit the floor. I would be crazy because, I know it's hard to tell. I'm 5 feet tall. I'm a small woman, so it's like he wants me to be all roar.
Hear me roar.
It would be shocking. No one would expect it, I suppose.
Hey, a little shock value gets everyone everywhere. I remember Alice Cooper was on Jimmy Kimmel about 4 years ago, and I guffawed because he literally decapitates himself on stage using a guillotine. And I was like, that is fucking amazing.
Absolutely.
Basically, every band I've ever been in, there's like some theatrical element to it. Whether
you
it's
have
just like
dude, if you want to stand out.
Whether it's just like a costume or actual props and things like that on stage. So this band's gonna have a bit of that going on as well.
JeRm's a pretty talented graphic designer and visual artist. He's made all the videos we have on YouTube. He's done himself and everything. So yeah, and I'm a horror fanatic. Like I love horror so much. So I want to make it. My costumes and things like that are definitely going to be sexy and scary all at the same time. That's the look we're going for.
Have you got? That's now that you went down this avenue. I know there's some adult film stars who sometimes do vocals for electronic and rap groups. Have you guys ever considered that, getting like a B-movie star or some other person?
We're not against it.
No, definitely. I mean, I would definitely be down for that.
Yeah,
he's super cool.
I'd love to get like a B horror movie director to make a music video for us or something.
Oh wow! Well, hey,
yeah, we definitely.
I direct some music videos, so I'm available.
All right.
Hell, I'll assemble your crew.
That would be freaking awesome. Yeah. And I do have, for a long time I did online promotion, and I've worked with special effects artists that make practical effects and props. So I do have a hookup on that. Just saying. I already have the body parts around. Yeah. So I have body parts. I'm looking right now. I have like brains and fingers and ripped off hairs and arms and all random body parts all over my face.
Sorry. I don't know what's going on here. When you are what do you recommend for just figuring out, like brainstorming a song? What are some tips and tricks you recommend for anyone who wants to write music?
I mean, I don't even know. I don't think I even have like
I don't fucking know, man.
Method. Like I don't have like a kind of
A how-to guide.
Yeah, I don't have like any sort of like particular method or way that I do things. So just like,
God damn it! Why do you want me asking these questions?
Yeah, manipulate audio and stuff until something interesting comes out of it. I'll often start with the beat, like so. Most of our songs, I just try to work
D, man. Oh,
a beat that a beat that works, and then build from there. Because I was first taught in drums, so that was like the first instrument I was taught at. So I think that's how my brain works now. I start songs from the drums up, which is odd. Most people start with like vocals or a melody or something like that, and work their way down to the drums. So I start from the drums and then add bass and then add melodic elements and then do the lyrics and vocals and stuff last.
Look at you.
Stuff, which is weird for most people, but it works for me for whatever reason.
And I don't give a shit if it don't work for you. No, just kidding. I kid. A funny guy.
There's two tracks on the album that's coming out that are instrumental that don't have drums, which is like an odd rarity for me. But so there's two songs that show how my brain works melodically, I guess.
The only thing I do basically is I'll just kind of noodle around until it works when he gives me a beat. But when I do cover songs, the only advice I can give to people when they do cover songs or they have someone that they really like, for instance, in the goth community, a lot of females are into Susie, Susie and the Banshees. If you admire Susie, don't try to sound exactly like her. I think that, a lot of people admire people and they try to sound exactly like them. Like, I like this person. I want to sing this type of music. So I'm going to sing and learn how to sing exactly like this person. And my advice is sing along with that person and find your own voice. Along. Like as if you're in the room with that person and you're singing with them along with them, not trying to sound exactly like them.
Musically, it's
because I find that a lot, especially underground. Like you'll go to underground shows, and it's like, okay, this person sounds exactly like Trent Reznor. Well, this person sounds exactly like Susie. Well, this person sounds exactly like this person. And it's a terrible epidemic we have in the underground community. It needs to stop.
Interesting.
Typically, when we did covers, instead of just like trying to do a one-for-one copy of the song,
make it your own.
Make my own, I'll like go over the lyrics and see how the lyrics make me feel, and then try to make music that feels that way. I
feel like if he gives me a song and it has like a somber vibe to it or a happy vibe, I like almost create a character in my mind that I'm an actress, okay, and I'm that character in my head, and I'm gonna sing like that character should sound. Like if it's a sad song, think of sad things. Think of sad things. Get a little crackle in your voice. When I did Building Lovers, that song, my voice cracks a bunch when I'm singing it because I actually did want to cry. The song is about a woman who goes and buys parts to build a robot lover because she's so sad and lonely. And like, I put myself in that place, like, oh my God, just think about that amount of sadness. And like, I really was like, I had tears in my eyes. I was choking up as I was doing it, try to, try to feel the emotion of, like the character of the song,
Yeah. I kind of was like that when we did the cover of Me by Gary Newman. His version is like this sort of synth pop, like happy sounding pop song. But the lyrics are like super dark and
that's,
depressing.
By the way, that's one of my favorite songs by Gary Newman. So we covered it, and I said the lyrics to it are so incredibly sad, but the music is super happy. You almost want to shake your butt to it. It's like, the beat's like that, but the lyrics aren't. And I said, I'd like to make the music match the lyrics. So we covered it in that way,
Yeah, between like the way we did the music and the way you did the vocals and stuff, that song's sort of difficult for me to play at this point. It's like a really dark song.
It's sad too.
Yeah, you never really think about how dark it is with Gary Newman's like poppy synth pop vibes or whatever, but yeah, lyrically it's a pretty dark song.
Yeah, it is.
Sweet. Man, well, I think we've just about covered it, gang. Anything else you'd like to promote, or in any way, shape, or form?
The upcoming album, which we don't really have a set date for at the moment.
But just we just like people to please. We are on.
I need someone to please. Sorry.
Our music is found on all the major streaming places. I would really encourage people to check it all out. Every song is different. There's something for everybody. So, and please leave comments of any kind. This is our business.
You guys fucking suck. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do
man,
that.
Yeah. If that's what they think.
No, fuck those guys. Give them some love.
I haven't had a whole lot of that yet.
No,
you don't want it. I'm telling you don't want it.
I've actually, people have been really kind to me about personally my music, singing and writing and JeRm as well. So far so good. But I know that, the more popular it gets, the more, we're going to get more haters, whatever.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye.
Bye. Kick your ass on the way out. Oh, well, yeah. I'm happy for you guys. Good sense of humor you guys had here, but this was really a cool listen. And I just, everyone needs to help out the little guy, man. I see so many others who are just like, what do I do? It's like, well, support each other.
Yeah.
Give each other a pat on the back.
Ever.
Nothing.
Yeah. We do appreciate it, though. This is our first interview as those monsters. So.
Really? I swear I saw you guys on a blog. It was another band.
It was a blog.
There is another band called Those Monsters, but guys, look them up on Facebook. I'll link it in the show notes here. But, I mean, you can tell who you're looking at if you're listening to this.
Yeah, we knew about that, but we own our name.
Yeah, so people do not.
I know my name.
Yeah, we own it. So if anybody else tries to, with that band, we did know about that, but they broke up many years ago. So.
Yeah, there was some band called These Monsters that broke up years back. Yeah.
Monster Squad.
Monster Squad.
Roll Tide. Right.
That was a great movie.
Yes, it was. You guys are welcome back anytime if you want to talk about any other of your favorite music bands, TV shows, or film franchises. Or if you want to interview with some other music act you guys are sponsoring or co-working with. Either way, this was groovy. In the words of Ash Williams.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time.
All right. Godspeed. Good, bad. You're the guys with the mic.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Breakfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Breakfast time. Listen at Breakfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up